Hello students, so in the last lecture we see that this minimum thickness of a slab base at our last topic, right? So next we starting with the examples, right? So the example is based on the slab base foundation, design of slab base, right? So design a slab base foundation for a column which is ISHB 350 to carry a factor axial load of 1200 kilonewton. Assume Fe410 grade steel and M25 concrete. Take safe bearing capacity of soil is as 200 kilonewton per meter square, right? So these are this given criteria. So based on this given criteria, we will see how these values are fine, right? So first of all, for steel, there is a Fe410 grade and M25 concrete given, right? So based on that, our Fy is equal to 250 Newton per mm square, and FCK, which is based on concrete, right? So is equal to 25 Newton per mm square. Now, second thing is given is our section is given ISHB 350. So our column section ISHB given. So based on that, we will find out this height, width, thickness criteria in our steel table, right? So in steel table, ISHB 350 criteria given is height is total height is equal to 350 mm, width of flange is equal to 250 mm, thickness of flange is equal to 11.6 mm, and thickness of web is equal to 8.3 mm. Now first find out the area of base plate, which will given in IS 800,007, clause number 7.4.1, page number 46. Here our factor load given, right, which is 1000, which is, sorry, here's some mistake, 120 kilonewton is 1200 kilonewton factor load is given, which will be considered as a PU, right? So bearing strength of concrete is equal to zero point 0.6 FCK. Now FCK, we know that FCK is equal to 25 Newton per mm square, right? So multiply by with zero point 0.6. So our answer is 15 Newton per mm square. Now next is area of base plate, right? So how to find area of base plate? So it is given as load divided by is bearing strength of concrete. So load factor load is also given, which is 1200 kilonewton. So converted into Newton, so its value is 1200 multiplied by 10 is to 3 divided by bearing strength of concrete, which will be here we find out this bearing strength of concrete, which is 50 Newton per mm square. So put this value in this equation, and area is 80,000 mm square. So size of built up column B is which is 350 mm, and D is equal to width of plane is equal to 250 mm. Provide 50 mm equal projection around all the column. Here the base plate is given, right? So center column is provided, which is ISHB 350, right? So 50 mm equal projection all around the column given, right? So here it means that here A and B, right? So at the same distance here A is equal to 50 mm, and here A is equal to 50 mm. Here B is equal to 50 mm and B is equal to 50 mm. So all over, all around the column 50 mm equal projections provide, right? Next is width of plate. How we find out the width of plate? So we basically know that our section is 350 by 250, right? So our width is 250 and depth is 250, right? But we provided 50 mm projection on both sides, on all side and all around the column, right? So width of plate is equal to 350 plus 50 plus 50. It means that 350 plus 50, 50 is equal to 450 mm. Right? At the same time, depth of base plate is equal to 250 plus 50 plus 50, which is 350 mm. So our base plate size is here 450 by 350 mm. Right? So basically, to find out the area of base plate, we multiply by B cross D, right? Which is 450 multiplied by 350. So our answer is 1,57,500 mm square, right? So next we find out thickness of base plate. So thickness of base plate criteria is given in page number 47, clause number 7.4.3.1. So in which A is equal to larger projection, which is 50 mm, and B is equal to small projection, which is also 50 mm, which will be provided 50 equal projection all around the column, right? So the equation of W is equal to our load, which is 1200 multiplied by 10 is to 3 divided by area of base plate. So area of base plate is equal to 450 multiplied by 350. So our answer is 7.62 Newton per mm square, right? So thickness of base plate is considered as a TS. Right. Next is weld connecting column to base plate. So use 6 mm fillet weld all around the column section to hold the base plate in the position. So total length available for welding along the periphery of ISHB 350. There are 12 ends for ISHB. So deduction is 12 multiplied by throat thickness, which is 2 multiplied by S. S means size of weld. Size of weld we here consider as a 6 mm, right? The 12 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 6, which is 144 mm. Next is effective length of weld available is, right? So total is 1683.4 minus here deduction is given 144. So our basically effective length of weld is 1539.4 mm. Now next is capacity of weld per meter per mm length, which is equal to 0.7 S FWD. Here S is equal to our size of weld and FWD also given in our code, which is 189. So basically answer in Newton per mm, but we here uh, we require unit kilonewton per mm. So converted into kilonewton per mm. So required length of weld is equal to 1200 divided by this value 0.7938, right? So our basically answer is 1512 mm, which is less than 1539.4 mm, which means that our assumed weld size, which is 6 mm, is adequate. Now next is the size of concrete block, right? So axial load on column, which is 120 kilonewton. Working load is equal to here 12,000 load kilonewton is given, right? But we consider as a working load, then it divided by 1.5. So finally we get 800 kilonewton. So add 10% of self weight of concrete block, which is 18 kilonewton. So our total load is 800, which is working load, plus 80, which we'll assume as a 10% of self weight, right? So total load is 880 kilonewton. So area of concrete block required is equal to total load divided by safe bearing capacity of soil. So safe bearing capacity of soil is given in example, right? So total load is 880 divided by safe bearing capacity, which is 200. So that our area of concrete block required is equal to 4.4 meter square, right? So consider block is designed for working load. So consider this rectangular concrete block with equal projection beyond the base plate. So X is equal to projection of concrete block. So area of concrete block is equal to length multiplied by width, right? So here what is the unknown term is X, right? Despite that X dimension, all the dimension are given, right? uh, so that area of block is given, length is also known, right? So used and this equation, following this equation by using calculator, and we finally got X is equal to 0.85 meter. Now L is equal to 0.45 plus 2 multiplied by 0.85, right? So here normally summation of this plus X in the next equation, right? So here length and width both are fine, right? So area of concrete block provided is equal to 2.15 multiplied by 2.05. Here length multiplied by the length multiplied by width, right? So our area of concrete block provided, which is 4.407, which is greater than 4.4 meters square. Hence, this all this criteria which we assume or find out the some dimension which is okay. So assume angle of dispersion is 45 degree, right? This angle of dispersion is assumed as a 45 degree. So depth of concrete block D is equal to consider as a x, which is 0.85 meter. Next, we continue this column splices. A joint when provided in the length of a column to get required length, it is called column splice. If a column is loaded axially, theoretically no splice is required. Compression will be transmitted by direct bearing and column sections could be rested one on top of each other. However, in practice, load on column is never truly axial and the rear column has to resist bending due to eccentricity applied load. So in addition, the column may be subjected to bending moments. Also, the bearing surface of the adjacent sections can never be machined to the perfection. Right. So here the design of column splices. The steps in the design of splices are: first is determine the nature of loads to which the splice is subjected. The splice may be subjected to axial compressive load, bending moment, and shear force. So for axial compressive load, the splice plates are provided on the flange of the two columns. So if the ends of the columns are milled or machined, the splice is designed only to keep the column in position and to carry tension due to the bending moment. So in that case, splice plates is designed to carry 50% of the actual load and tension due to bending moment. So if the ends of the column are not milled or machined, the splice and connections are designed to resist total axial load and tension, if any. Right. So third is a load due to axial load for machine ends of columns. So here PU is equal to PU1 is equal to load on splice due to axial factor load PU on the column. So if total load on splice plates are given, hence its value is PU by 2, but load on each splice plate is equal to PU by 4. So for non-machine end columns, PU1 is equal to PU divided by 2. Next criteria is load due to bending moment. So PU2 is equal to MU divided by lever arm, right? And lever arm is known as or denoted as a small a, where a is equal to center to center distance between two splice plates, right? Next is column splice plates are assumed to act as a short column, right? Hence the plates will be subjected to yield stress Fy. So FCD is equal to Fy divided by 1.10. Next criteria is the cross-sectional area of splice plate, which is known as A, is equal to PU divided by FCD, right? Where PU is equal to PU1 plus PU2. Next criteria is the width of splice plate is kept equal to the width of column flange. So the thickness of the splice plate is equal to A divided by width of splice plate, right? So for column exposed to weather, thickness of splice should not be less than 6-7. Next criteria is nominal diameter of bolt for connection is assumed. So number of bolt equation is equal to total number of splice plate divided by strength of one bolt. Next criteria is when the bearing plates are provided to join two columns of unequal sizes. So the bearing plate may be assumed as a short beam to transmit the axial load to the lower column. The axial load of the column is assumed to be taken by flanges only, as shown in this figure. So maximum bending moment in bearing plate M is equal to PU by 2 multiplied by A1. So the length and width of the bearing plate are kept equal to the size of the lower story column. So the thickness of bearing plate M is equal to FB multiplied by S multiplied by Z. So FBS is equal to design bending stress, which is equal to Fy by 1.10. Fy generally given is 250 divided by 1.10. So the answer is 227.27 Newton per mm square. Here Z is equal to Bt square divided by 6. Next criteria is the wave splice plates are designed to resist maximum shear force. Next criteria is if packing are provided between the splice plate and column flange and more than 6 mm in thickness, the design shear capacity of bolt is reduced as per clause number 10.3.3.3 of IS 800/2007. Right. So here are the one example given. Column section IS HP 250 at 500.3 Newton per meter is carrying factor load of 600 kilonewton. So design suitable column splice. Use 60 diameter bolt, 4.6 grade bolts, and steel of grade Fe410. So here the basic criteria given, right, which is FUB is equal to 400, FU is equal to 410, FY is equal to 250, and for Fe410 plate, right? So for ISHP 250 section, which is given in steel table, the criteria given in steel table is width of flange and thickness of flange, which is 250 mm and 9.7 mm. So assume the ends of the columns are miled or machined for complete bearing. Therefore, the splice plates are designed for 50% of the actual load of the column. So load on each splice plate, which is PU1 is equal to PU by 4. PU given is 600 divided by 4. So our PU1 is equal to 150 kilonewton. Now going next, FCD is equal to Fy by gamma m0, where Fy given in example is 250 divided by 1.10. So our FCD answer is 227.27 Newton per mm square. Next is area of splice plate required is equal to load 150 multiplied by 10 is to 3 divided by 227.27. So our area of splice plate is equal to 660 mm square. Width of plate splice plate should be equal to the width of the column flange. So B is equal to 250 mm. So the thickness of splice plate is equal to area divided by B. So the area which we'll find out here, 660 divided by our width 250. So our thickness of splice plate provide as a 2.54 mm. So provide 6 mm thick splice plate as column may be exposed to weather. For 16 mm diameter 4.6 grade bolt, strength of bolt in single shear is equal to 29 kilonewton. So the strength of bolt in bearing is equal to, the equation is 2.5 kbdt Fu divided by gamma mb. Kb is equal to 1, d diameter is equal to 60, t thickness is equal to 6, Fu given is equal to 400 divided by gamma mb is equal to 1.25. So our value is 76.8 kilometers. So our bolt value is equal to 29 kilometers. So here the equation of finding out number of bolts required is equal to a load which is 150 kilonewton divided by bolt value which is 29, right? So let's say 6 number of bolts are provided, right? So provide 60 mm diameter 6 bolt on each side of the splice into 2 vertical jaws to connect splice plate with the column flanges. So minimum pitch distance is equal to 2.5 multiplied by d. D is equal to diameter of bolt. So our minimum pitch size is equal to 40 mm. Provide pitch is equal to 50 mm and distance is equal to 1.5 d0. D0 is equal to diameter of hole. So here 27 mm answer is 27 mm, but we provide 30 mm and distance, right? So depth of the splice plate is equal to here 4 multiplied by pitch distance plus 4 multiplied by end distance. So our depth of splice plate is equal to 350 mm. So the provided splice plate is equal to their depth is 350, width is 250, and multiply by 6 mm on the column plate. So here our this chapter lacing, battening, and slab base is completed. Basically, in exam there are only theory questions are generally questioning, right? So there are no examples are required to prepare. So if you have any confusion, so let me know.